All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TSP. I am Dr. Evil Genius.
And I am Louis Rossman with Mr. Clinton the Cat.
How you doing there, Lewis and Mr. Clinton? How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. So, you and I, we don't bullshit each other when it comes to our positions on various topics. Not even 48 hours ago, we were going pretty hard on a partisan issue,
Yes.
and but there's a trust that we have built over the years. Obviously, you being a little bit more conservative leaning than myself, there's still a trust that we have the best intentions when we discuss various subjects. And so earlier today, I noticed a particular story and I took a nap and then I woke up to my phone going off the hook. It's Louis Rossman saying, yo, some wild shit is going on.
Yes.
So to tell the viewers, because remember, I'm supposed to be the liberal arm of the platform, and our resident conservative right now is a little bit unavailable. Since you're definitely a little bit more conservative leaning, we're gonna let you tell the story.
I think the message I sent you is, did Trump really say F the Constitution, bruh? He's doing that thing where you agree with him on so much that you're too deep to go back. You have to go full crazy or admit that you were wrong for 6 years. And I think that's the genius of Donald Trump, is that he manages to say things that can mean different things to different people. And if once you realize what it actually meant, it's like, oh shit, you have to admit that the people that actually, all those people that hated you for your political leanings, for your temperament, for your actions for 6 years were right about you, or admit that you were wrong about something, or actually go all in with crazy. And
Well,
like this
well
thing that came out. So with
yeah,
the
yeah,
revelation,
yeah, yeah. Definitely tell the viewers what he said. In fact, you know what? I'm feeling very generous today. We've chosen to review the National Review, who, when you look at the title of the article and you compare it to what he actually said, you cannot accuse Dr. Evil on TSP for bias. All right? The headline is Trump Constitution should be suspended over, quote, massive fraud, end quote, in 2020 election. Now, what did Trump actually say?
he said, with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. He added, our great founder did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections. That's termination, not suspension.
Right. So, I mean, guys,
They're both bad. Like, I don't
yeah,
want.
like both sides are going to try, the other side is going to try to play this up as hard as they can. And, and understand something, okay? Apologies if I seem a little bit too smug today. But I'm gonna let Lewis drive the discussion today because I'm biased against. You guys already know my position on Trump. I've been pretty clear on that, and a lot of my opinions have nothing to do with his time in the White House. I have, I live in a city where his reputation has been built over the last 50 years. So my opinions of Donald Trump are based on his reputation that he has built himself over the last 50 plus years. I don't give a fuck about what he did or said while he was in the White House. But, many people will say, Dr. Evil, you're a bleeding heart libtard. Or I don't know. They're always saying something. And the other side says, Dr. Evil, you're an alt-right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. So, Lewis, please help us to understand what the dynamics are here.
I don't. I just think this is crazy shit. It's like, he said this about the Emmys. The Emmys are rigged if he doesn't win. The election is rigged if he doesn't win in 2016. and he didn't win this time, so it must be rigged. And the weird thing is, this is happening right after that whole Twitter scandal came out, where Biden's campaign did ask Twitter to remove certain tweets. They did. And the tweets that they asked them to remove were not tweets on Burisma, were not tweets talking about Hunter Biden corruption. They were nudes. They were dick pics. Like, the world is better off as a result of you not seeing Hunter Biden's penis on Twitter.
Yes.
There's free speech and there is free dick, and they're separate things. I personally don't care about that particular thing. I believe that Twitter was a biased platform for a while. I believe and the thing is,
When
it wouldn't
wasn't
be
it
hard for me
biased?
to.
When was Twitter not biased?
I mean, I would imagine that they were always they were biased since, I guess it'd be like 2015 to 17ish probably, because like Twitter came out in the mid 2000s. We didn't really have this whole concept of everybody at every tech company leaned one particular way politically and hated the other side of the aisle until the last 7 years.
You make a good point, Lewis, because like I hadn't really been fucking with Twitter. Like I had an account for a long time, but just never used it. I just basically wanted to squat on, the @Dr. Evil Genius. Definitely go follow me on Twitter there. But I didn't really use it. By the time I started using it, it was a cesspool of partisan bullshit on all sides. So that's the only Twitter that I know. So you make a good point there. Continue.
Yeah, like this whole, I don't know. For me, like I think the hardest thing for most people is separating. Like, I agreed with Trump on this thing or that thing, but now do I just say, okay, I agreed with you on X and Y, but F you on Z, or do you just go all in on crazy? And I think like there are so many people that go, oh, what do you think of Trump now? Well, you agree with him on that, and like for instance, in early 2020. Like when it came to the argument of like shut down, lock down the whole world with COVID, or the cure can't be worse than the disease, I leaned on the cure shouldn't be worse than the disease side. Like I still got vaccinated, still wore a mask, but I was strongly in the camp of the cure should not be worse than the disease. And if you were on that side, then Trump tended to be on the side that was more for you. If you didn't thought, okay, police brutality is bad, but we should the whole if it we shouldn't crack. That what was the saying I'm thinking of the. Oh, you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, referring to the small businesses that were getting ransacked. I tended to side with Trump there, even if I thought his rhetoric was bad. But, I don't go all in on crazy. And the problem here is there are a lot of people that feel like, well, I attached myself to Trump because I agree with him on these couple of things, that then feel the need to, just keep going all in. And he has this way of saying shit that can be interpreted in numerous different ways. And, how do you interpret this? Because, again, this is a serious nudge, because when you see people that have MAGA stickers and Trump stickers in their truck, you will often see them right next to bumper stickers talking about the Constitution. Because whether they care about it or
Don't
virtue
tread
signal
on
that they
me.
care about it, that is a part of the image, that Republicans and conservatives care about the Constitution. It matters. So, what do you think? It matters even when you lose. And that's the thing when it comes to this whole shit. He is tweeting this whole shit out. Or not tweeting, truthing, whatever the fuck you call it on that social media platform that has 8 people on it. He is sending all of this stuff out right after the revelations that Biden's campaign asked Twitter if you could remove some nudes. Again, they weren't asking, can you remove this really embarrassing email exchange between Hunter Biden and, somebody at Burisma?
He's colluding with Russia to,
He wasn't
overthrow the United States.
Yeah, and there's probably some shit that he was doing there to milk his dad's name that I'm sure was immoral and shitty to do. I'm not going to defend him for that.
Who's not doing that? Who has a famous and or powerful parent? Who's not doing that?
Yeah, the shit that Ivanka and Jared were doing was I'm not. We could go into that for days if I actually wanted to read into it. But they deleted at the end of the day. He is responding to a story that is the Biden campaign asking Twitter to remove nudes of Hunter Biden. Again, there's free speech and there's free dick, and the issue is there's some overlap in the free speech and the free dick movement, but they're not the same. And it's and the thing is, he's digging in. That's the thing. This is the thing with all the election shit. Because my boss actually asked me this from time to time. He's like, what about don't we also care about election integrity? It's true, but the thing is, he's gonna grab onto any bullshit to claim that he won. The Biden campaign saying more free speech, less free dick does not mean that Trump won the election because of collusion. That means that they asked them to remove dick pics. Okay, to be clear, I don't know if maybe they were just pics with his shirt off, maybe they were ass pics. I didn't look at them.
Viewers, I need you guys to help us get #FreeDick trending on Twitter. Can you guys get that going?
To be clear, I did not look at the pictures that were censored. I read descriptions of them.
This is a men's platform, a men's platform. We do not do that here.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is why I think that, like, there are a lot of people that probably think it would be a great thing if he just went away quietly, like people that are in their late 70s who don't take care of themselves do. Because, like, if Ron DeSantis were to run against Biden and say all the same things, like, hey, riots are bad. COVID vaccine mandates are anti-freedom. We should lock down our entire country and become a security medical state or whatever. Like, if he says all those things, but doesn't dig into this stolen election shit, says, the Constitution is a good thing and all that stuff, there is actually a fighting chance to win. Whereas if you run somebody who says shit like this, like, they're gonna lose. And it's like the sooner that people in the Republican Party grow a backbone, a dick, a spine, anything, like, and just say, get rid of this kind of rhetoric and shit, instead of just like saying, oh, I can kind of agree with what he said, but not really, because they're afraid of getting a mean tweet from Donald Trump, the better off the entire party will be. Because there are people out there that are like I would vote for Biden over Trump I would vote for Biden over Trump here. And that's
but it's not because you like Biden, right?
It's not because I like Biden. It's because this shit is dangerous.
Right, because that's one of the things I have to keep reminding people when they talk about Trump voters. Because I get, when you've been on the dating apps as much as I've been, right? You'll get, the common chick that will say, if you voted for Trump, swipe left. And even though I would never vote for Trump, I still swipe left because I can't deal with that mentality. I can't. If you can't deal with somebody voting for somebody else without even asking them why, you're part of the problem. And there's so many people that, kind of pinch their nose in the ballot and then press Trump, right? There's so many people that did that, but they're being judged as if they all, have hooded robes in their closet, right? So I think that it is unfair to characterize anybody who voted for any candidate as loving that candidate. We live in an era where a lot of voters are voting against the perceived alternative more than they are voting for the actual candidate that they press accept on.
Yeah, like, I have two extremes that I go back and forth between at this point. I realize that I am never going to find a candidate that I'm excited to vote for. Larry Sharpe as a governor was the only person I think I've ever been excited to vote for. And maybe Ron Paul in 2008. But the two things
for you?
Say that again?
No Jill Stein for you?
No Jill Stein for me. But, like, I go back and forth between these two things. On one hand, if you were, pro-business and pro not us getting destroyed in 2020, big thumbs up for you. But if you believe that the election was stolen and go along with all this bullshit, I can't vote for you. On the left side of it, essentially, like, if you were tweeting, oh, you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet or something of that regards, or insurance will pay for it in summer of 2020, I can't vote for you. But on the right-wing side, it doesn't matter how much I agree with you on a number of different things. If you go all in on this stolen election, screw the Constitution bullshit, I can't vote for you. I'm not happy when I vote for people. I'm not excited when I vote for people. It's just me doing this.
Right.
And I don't like it, but it's the reality of it. I'm not endorsing these candidates. Essentially, there's two garbage choices, and I'm usually choosing the one that makes me retch the least. And those are the two things that I go back and forth between at this point in time.
Right. And so let me give you this alternative. How about a 2024 ticket, Kanye West and Jill Stein? You good for that?
Moving right along. Go for Jill Stein there.
Could you imagine them both on a ticket together?
You mean not versus each other? You mean like?
Yeah, I'm talking about West Stein 2024.
Oh God! Oh, I thought you meant West versus Stein. Okay, my bad. No, Kanye. He's either mentally ill or he's perfectly okay, and either one of those is not good.
And yeah, this is a perfect example. This particular conversation is a perfect example of a common theme in many of your arguments on various subjects, the univariate analysis versus the multivariate analysis. If you can just kind of do us the favor of giving us the cliff notes of what that means.
Well, when you're judging how to make policy on a particular issue, are you judging it based on one thing? So, for instance, when it comes to COVID, are we judging this based on just let's lower the number of cases without regards to anything else, quality of life, economy into the future, political stability? If we enact measures that cause people to say, I will vote for people who are literal fascists, if it means that you're not in power anymore, which is why I think so many people are still clinging to Trump, because this is what I said. I think what I said 2 days ago in an argument was there are so many people that would rather vote for a literal fascist than somebody who sees the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict in trial and has and listens to people saying, like he's murdering people for no reason. Like all those people were out there were just lovely, kind people that were just arbiters of peace that were just protesting for no without negative intentions. Like one moment, I forgot my train of thought. No, the idea
we're talking about univariate versus multivariate analysis.
The idea of a univariate analysis is where your entire decision is based on one attribute and one attribute only. Like that's literally the only attribute that you're facing the entire decision on.
Right.
And like,
is that multi or uni?
Hmm?
Uni versus multi.
Yeah, uni versus multi, where multi is you're balancing a bunch of different things.
Right.
For me, when it comes to like this, if somebody actually believes in like destroying the Constitution, you can be with me on a bunch of other things, but that one one thing is so important that there's got to be somebody else to vote for.
Well, I think what's interesting here is that this bombshell, because this is nothing short of a bombshell, I believe that this could, I'm not really hopeful, but I believe this could turn a lot of people away from the univariate analysis that they've been staunchly stuck on this one side no matter what, throwing good money after bad. And I think that this is one of the things that for some that are, and I'm not talking about Republicans because Republicans and MAGA Republicans are two different types of people. And we need to make that clear, right? When you're talking about the loud minority of the conservative side, the so-called MAGA Republican, some of these people are now going to turn to a multivariate analysis and away from the univariate analysis of before, because I think that this is really a bridge too far for even many of them.
Yeah, like once you're at the point that you actually do have to start peeling a bumper sticker off of your truck, like the Constitution one or the MAGA one, it's like that's awkward. That has to cause some level of that has to be some level of cognitive dissonance. And like, listen, I know which one I would tear off first. The Constitution doesn't go away because you lose.
Wow, I mean, and that's a really good point. In the comment section below, people, we want to know, especially those among our conservative base here on TSP, which bumper sticker would you tear off if you had to? Would you tear off the Trump 2024 Make America Great Again bumper sticker? Or would you tear off the Don't Tread on Me, I Love the Constitution bumper sticker? Put that in the comment box below. As always, we know that this is the home of the hot take and the cold truth. And yeah, this was definitely a lot of...
Also, Oreo the cat.
Wow, the hot takes that we're covering on this one. And occasionally, and you're probably going to be seeing a little bit more of them now, you're going to be seeing a lot more of my good dear friend, no matter what, Louis Rossman, and Mr. Clinton, because Mr. Clinton was there first. Okay. And Oreo the cat. Look at those cats, y'all. I don't know how many people here are cat people or dog people, but definitely check out these kitties. They're very photogenic. All right. So you may be getting a couple of extra guests, some of them of the feline variety. As previously stated, we are about 225 subscribers away from our end of December goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. So please help us reach that milestone by clicking the subscribe button, hit that bell for all notifications. Share this because this is a wild ass story. And drop a like or a dislike if you liked or disliked the video. We'll catch you in the next one.